Good morning, children. Sai Ram. Welcome to part 2 of the revision session of chapter 6 Political Science, that is Understanding Media. Now, children, before we proceed, please keep your notepad and pen handy to write down the important points that we are going to discuss today. The topics that we will be covering today are media and democracy, balance report and independent media, censorship, then setting agendas. Okay, all these things we are going to revise today. But children, prior to that, let us take a small recap on what we did earlier, that is at the live session. We understood that media is an umbrella term which includes radio, television, newspapers, internet and various other forms of communication. We also understood about media and technology. We revised about media and technology. We revised about the two categories of media and technology, right? That is print media and electronic media. So, print media includes newspaper, magazines, etc., while electronic media includes TV and radio. Then we also revised about media and money. We revised that the various technologies used in the mass media are very costly. We took the example of television studio, right? We see it as that it has lights, cameras, sound recorders, transmission, satellites, etc., which are very expensive. So, basically it is not just these things, but a number of other people are also paid which aids in broadcasting, right? So, all these things we revised yesterday. Now, in today's session, let us begin with media and democracy. Children, we have already discussed it when I was explaining the chapter, isn't it? That in a democratic country, it is media which provides news and discusses events occurring in a country. Not only in that particular country, but all around the world. Media makes people informed, and through this, the citizens learn about the government's working. At times, based on these information, people take action by organizing public protest, campaigns, etc. So, children, some of the ways in which they can do this is by writing letters to the concerned minister, organizing public protest, starting a signature campaign, asking the government to rethink its programs, etc., right? So, children, given the role that media plays in providing information, it is important that the information be balanced, isn't it? Now, let us revise what it means or what it means to be a balanced media report, right? So, children, now there are two media reports that are mentioned on page number 74 of your textbook. Okay, one is from India report and other is from India Delhi report. First one says crackdown on polluting factories. Protesters block roads and disrupt traffic. So that is one thing, and the other one is closure of factories causes unrest. Now children, if you read these two things, okay, either newspaper, you would only know only one side of a story. If you have read the newspaper, you would know only one side of story, right? If you had read the News of India, you would mostly, you know, think that the protesters are nuisance. They are disrupting the traffic, continually polluting, etc. But on the other hand, if you had read the story of India Daily, okay, so basically these are the two reports that we are talking about, right? So that if you had read that, you would know that the protests are because of a lot of livelihoods, okay, lost. So children, because of what, a lot of livelihoods, okay, are lost if the factories close because of the relocation efforts are not adequate, isn't it? So now let us understand more about the balance report. Balance report is one that discusses all points of view of a particular story and then leaves it to the readers to make up their mind. It is significant for the media to provide information which is balanced, right? So, balance report basically is one that discusses all the viewpoints of a particular story and then it leaves it to the readers to decide what they want to think about it. Preparing a balance report requires the media to be independent. And independent media is important in a democracy. So, from whatever we read, okay, we can conclude, or whatever we have learned, we can conclude that on basis of the information that media provides, we take actions as citizens. So, it is very important that the information that is provided is reliable and not biased. So, children, independent media is the one which is not under the control and influence of anyone. It is compulsory to have an independent media in a democratic country. Now, let us revise about censorship. It means the power of government to disallow media from publishing or showing things that are considered to be offensive, immoral, harmful to the society. People rely on the information provided by them. And so, the information should be reliable and unbiased. But the fact is that our media is not independent. And this is because, firstly, the government controls the media through censorship. Now, what is censorship? Censorship is when the government prevents news items, scenes, lyrics from being shared with a larger public. Now, one such example that we can see is of government censoring the media in the period of emergency between 1975 to 1977. Okay, that was the worst part of it. So, children, now while the government continues to censor films, it does not really censor the media coverage of news. Now, despite the absence of censorship by the government, most newspapers nowadays still fail to provide a balanced story. The reason for this are complicated. Now, people who research the media have said that this happens because of the business houses that control the media. So, at times, it is in the interest of these businesses to focus only on the one side of the story. Media's continuous need for money and its links to advertising means that is you know, it's become difficult for media to be reporting against people who gives them advertisement. So media is thus no longer considered as independent because of its close links to businesses. So now let us understand about setting agendas. To set agenda directly refers to what stories it focuses on and what is newsworthy. When media sets the agendas, it affects our thoughts, feelings, actions and make us attentive. Media should focus on issues that are significant in our lives and not on the issues which makes money for them. So, it refers to the media that covers small issues involving ordinary people and their daily lives, right? This is what is local media. It publishes news of local importance. So, children, even local media can help in setting up agendas. A fortnightly newspaper, Khabar Le Riya, is an example. It is an example of it. It is run by 8 Dalit women of Chitrakoot district in Uttar Pradesh. This Bundeli newspaper reporter, reports on Dalit issues and cases of violence against women and political corruption. Several people use community radio to tell farmers about prices of crops and also advise them. Even documentary shows real life, documentary as in documentary films, shows real life condition of poor communities. So in this way the local media covers small issues which are generally considered as uninteresting by the media. Sometimes when the media fails to publish reports that are important as a part of democratic country, media plays an important role as it makes us aware of the issues related to the working of the government. It is necessary for citizens to be conscious about what factual information is, whether it is complete information or not, right? So children, with this I end this video, this revision session of chapter 6 of political science, that is understanding media. See you in the next session. Till then, goodbye and keep learning.